What's up? It's not COVID. It's not. It's Travel Chronicles, chapter 64. So only got like 36 left after this, so getting close. Still probably gonna make it through the end of the year though. I don't see me getting 36 of these done before then. So what do we got? We got COVID coming back, making a little bit of a comeback. Cases are up. Death rate's still declining, slowly. So it's like 700 a day or something is what it's been for the last several weeks. Right around there. I can't remember exactly what that equates to. Let's see. I guess that'd be like, is that 200,000 deaths? That might be. Which, essentially, this is, we haven't been keeping track for a year, right? Because we didn't start keeping track until in January. But, this has been around since last September, I think, or at least last fall. So, worldwide, it's been about a year. And I think the world death total is maybe 1.1 million, something like that. So there's 7-8 billion people in the world, and 1 million people have died in a year. And granted, the testing's gotten better the last 6 months, but I think the numbers in America are a little overinflated. I've made the case of the girl getting kicked in the head before by the horse. She died of COVID. There's a lot of things out there that just don't make any sense, and you hear some reports out there now where there's people who die of COVID, and then there's COVID-related deaths. And all of these deaths that they're saying, oh, people died of COVID, it's the COVID-related deaths that are getting thrown into that total. So, these people had one or two underlying conditions, where they may have been in, kidney failure or something already, and also contracted COVID, and it's getting counted as a COVID death. And it's disingenuous. It's not an honest way to keep track of the numbers, but there's a deeper problem, and part of it should get resolved in the election, I hope. But the problem is with healthcare, right? Everybody wants to talk about insurance. Oh, look what Obamacare did. All Obamacare did was force people to have insurance, right? And now the hospitals and the insurance controls what the hospitals get money-wise for the things that they're performing. And a hospital is not like a fast food restaurant either, where you walk in and it's like, oh, how much for an x-ray? How much for an MRI? Nobody knows how much anything costs when you go in a hospital. You go in a hospital, it's like, oh, this is hurting. Okay, well, let's figure out what's wrong with you. And then they'll run whatever test they need to run to figure it out. And that may cost just $10,000 in tests before you get any procedure or service or medicine or anything done to you. So the ridiculous part to me is, why are we not looking at what stuff costs out of healthcare? We're looking at hospitals and these different things as just private industry, where the market is setting the value, right? And so they can just charge whatever they want. There's no regulation. There's nothing to say, hey, this doesn't really make sense for a person to pay, because we're not worried about that, because everybody has to have insurance now, and insurance will pay for it. Who's paying for the insurance? So now, whether I have anything wrong with me or not, for this year, I've got to pay thousands of dollars in health insurance costs. What sense does that make? You were fine. You didn't have anything wrong with you. All right, cool. You paid $5,000 to be fine. Okay, great. I don't want to pay all that money. There ain't anything wrong. And by the same token, if something does go wrong, why can't I just pay for it? You know, if I go through 4 years where I don't have anything wrong, and then all of a sudden, you know, break an arm or a leg, you know, that would be $20,000 where I could go in and pay for that procedure. And it shouldn't cost $20,000 for something like that. But now we've got to pay the insurance. We've got to pay the hospital's overhead. Then you got to pay the doctor, then the nurse, and then for whatever equipment or medicine or procedure you had to have done. I mean, it's ludicrous. Like 100 years ago, or maybe a little bit more, doctors were making house calls, right? They'd come to your house, check you out. Not now. Yeah, people are getting in the medical field, but you know what's the motivation to get in the medical field? Make money, right? You're not out there necessarily to fix people or to use your brilliant mind to heal people. How much money can I get? That's just, how much can we charge for this? And then hospitals take over. It's like, oh, we need to charge more. I mean, I don't want to go to the doctor. I don't want to go to the hospital for anything. Oh, knee hurts a little bit. Oh, back hurts a little bit. Oh. I'll go on. Wait it out. You know, so that's where we're at now in America. Like, people don't even want to go to the doctor because of the cost. It's cost prohibitive. But we're not attacking the problem from that side. We're saying, oh, you need to have insurance. You need to make sure you have insurance. Well, these insurance companies are, hey, you got to buy from us? Sweet. Hey, hospital, we're not paying you. Or people have insurance, but they have super high deductibles. You got a $5,000-$6,000 deductible for your family. You got to pay all that before insurance even starts paying anything. That's ridiculous. I mean, it's gotten insane the last 10 years. Because it used to be, you could find a company that would just, you know, hey, we got your health insurance covered. And even if it was private insurance, where, you know, they just reimburse for the cost of the insurance, the company, I guess, would be kind of becoming their own insurance, or self-insured, or however that works. So, you know, maybe they have like Blue Cross Blue Shield to get you in the door, and then they're paying the insurance back for whatever cost you incur. That's fine. You know, big enough companies should be able to do that anyway, because, you know, they're gonna hedge their bets that, you know, most people aren't going to get sick or be in too bad a shape where it's going to cost them an outrageous amount of money. But, you know, they can't do that now. Because if everybody has to have insurance, guess what? The hospital, they're going to get paid, right? Guess what happens to the prices for every procedure at the hospital? Going up. And it's going up unchecked because the federal government doesn't want to look at that. Oh, how much you want to charge for an x-ray? $10,000? Okay, cool. Now, I'm not saying that's what it is, but, you know, it's where we're headed. But COVID has caused a little bit of a pinch in the healthcare industry. And you'd think it would be the opposite, right? Because, whoa, this horrible pandemic is coming through. Everybody's going to have to get treatments and stuff. But people are staying away from hospitals now like crazy, right? Like, not only has insurance made it cost prohibitive to go to the doctor for anything. It's like, well, it'll get better. Oh, wait, as long as it can. You know, now the COVID, people are like, ooh, I don't know if I want to go to a hospital in a pandemic. You know, I don't want that. I don't want to end up in the hospital for months on a ventilator. I'll just wait. I'll wait. All right, people weren't getting the elective procedures because they didn't want to go to the hospital. Hospitals didn't want them coming in. You know, hospitals still have to do work to make money. Just because they're there, they're not making money. It's a bad situation. It's like, oh, well, you don't want to go to socialized healthcare because then nobody will want to be doctors, this, that, and the other. It's like, look, somebody wants to be a doctor because they want to help somebody. Cool. But I think you're going to have to change the structure of how you're doing it, right? I mean, people want to go to medical school. Maybe you pay for that medical school and say, hey, you're going to work here for 10 years. We'll cover the cost of your medical school, you know, or you send them to certain state schools, you know, 1 or 2 spots. Hey, here's a doctor for the next 10 years to treat people at our, you know, clinics or, you know, whatever we're going to put in to a remote location to make it more cost effective for people. I mean, that's all you have to do. Pay for the doctors to go to school, and then, you know, that'll defray some of the costs for these hospitals. Like, you have to make life at the hospital cheaper so that people can go to the hospital, go to the doctors, and get treated for stuff if you want your general population to be healthy. It's ridiculous. We're not doing that. And now hospitals are trying to backdoor it and get money because they were paying for people who died of COVID, right? So now it's COVID-related. 200,000 people, COVID-related deaths. Like, how many people actually died of COVID? We'll never know. Where the one cause of death was because, you know, they were perfectly healthy before, and all of a sudden they got COVID, and now they're dead. What's that number? 30,000? 50? It ain't 200,000. But, you know, we're in election year, so we got to politicize everything. It'll be interesting come November 3rd how restrictive things are still. You know, because I would bet right now, you know, none of these political leaders, right, want to make a decision that's going to cost them an election, right? They don't want to say, hey, you know what, the mask and stuff, you know, it's not that big a deal, you know, or, hey, if you want to go to a professional sports game, go ahead. You know, it's cool. You know, just be cautious. You know, understand the risk that you're putting yourself at. And, you know, maybe the teams have to do something to protect the players. You know, it's like, hey, don't interact with the fans. You know it's going to be hard. You know, wave at them, but don't go over the stands. Don't throw your stuff in the stands. You know, don't autograph anything for right now. Just take it easy. And that's all I need to do. Ambulance. Hope they're all right. Always worry when I see one, just because you never know what's ahead of you, you know, or, you know, somebody you know from where you're going, something may have happened. Had a guy this weekend hurt himself. Yeah, same thing, you know, pulled something, tore something at a wedding, trying to dance. 50-some years old, trying to do a split. Not a good idea. Not a good idea. And I think it was Deion Sanders that said, he was talking about, you know, sports warming up and stuff like that. He's like, you ever see a cheetah stretch? Because he was fast, right? So you just go out and run. Like, you know, I guess that was like, hey, I can go run and do this anytime. I don't need to warm up. That's cool. You ever see a 40-year-old pull a muscle? Yeah. You ever been a 40-year-old pull muscle. It's not pretty. It takes weeks to get over. It's not good. So I try not to put myself at risk for those types of things. It's a real risk-reward evaluation that you got to do, kind of in real time. It's like, 20 years ago, yeah, I'm going to try that. Yeah, I'll give it a shot. I'll see if I can do that. 40 years old, 43 years old, I'm good. And, and it's not that I wouldn't want to try it. Sure, I'd like to give it a shot, but if things go horribly wrong, I don't want to be laid up for weeks. That's what it is. It's 4 to 6 weeks. I don't know if there's much prevention you can do unless you're doing splits and stretching every day for that kind of stuff. But, all right. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if the COVID numbers just completely drop off here after the election too. We'll see. All right. If it looks like it's the same stuff from yesterday, yeah, it is, because I just wore it home. All right, be careful, stay COVID free. Later.